Hello, welcome to the Dimp Digital Podcast. We're on a landmark episode of number 30. It's a very special time here for the guys at Dimp Digital, and for you guys, we've planned absolutely fuck all for it. As usual, we've got our bi-weekly podcast trio of myself, Apps, Logan, and Hall. Gents, how we doing?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Yeah, very well, very well.
Excellent. As usual, we won't mess around, we'll just get straight into it. Won't do the forced banter. Well, I've just done it there by doing that. So.
Difficult banter.
Yeah, it's just more effort to put in, so I'd rather just get on with it and hopefully something funny will be said during the opening to keep people hooked, but more often than not they switch off by this point.
Fucked it.
Yeah, blown it.
Audience gone.
Audience gone, all 6 of them.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Anyway.
Let's start off with FIFA 16. There's an announcement come out that they were to include women's teams into FIFA 16, which some people hate, some people love, some people don't care. Krogan, you're the main FIFA man here. Just as people know, I'm more of a Pro Evo man, and even that I struggle to hold my interest. Are you happy with this inclusion of the international women's teams, given, bearing in mind it is a women's World Cup year?
Don't really care. Literally couldn't be less fussed. I don't see why there's a fuss made of it.
No, I don't see there's always a fuss made of it, personally. Will you actually play, will you try out the women's mode? I don't know if it's going to be a separate mode. I don't know how it's going to work, but I'm sure there's just going to be teams on there.
Separate mode?
Well, no, it'll be a separate league, won't it? And they'll all be
just in the
like,
kitchen.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
No, I don't buy FIFA to play as some random woman.
What do you buy FIFA for?
To play
Some
as
random
players
man.
I know.
You don't know any
Or
of the
just to
women's
play as
footballers?
myself. So
Well, that must be put.
yeah, I think it's a moot point. I don't understand why there's an outrage about it or a big fuss. They want to bung it in, they can bung it in. Nobody has to play it.
It's very difficult to make any comment about it without being horrendously sexist, isn't it? I mean, it's just a minefield. The thing is, the game's going to...
Let's bin the minefield off.
The game's going to come out and everyone's going to go, why are the women so much shitter than the men?
Well, that's a good point. Yeah.
The game's going to come out and literally everyone who's a feminist is just going to be like, well, that's not fair. Why are the women's team so much like worse than all of the men's teams?
Why is no one ranked over 70? What's going on with that? And the blokes will say they're ranked too high. Well,
and the thing is, and the reality of it is, there's no two ways around it. Men are physically stronger, so they're always going to be better at, like, especially big physical activities like football.
Well, yeah.
There's no two ways around it. Like, you can say as much as you want in defence of it. I think it's good that they're including it because they're going to be expanding their audience.
Yeah,
I think because if, for example, I mean, like we said, I'm not a big FIFA person, but if I was, and there was the option at least to play as a women's team, I'd try it out, and I'd like to think that my missus might be like, oh, that's a bit different. You know, she might gauge that tiny little bit of interest for a very short period of time.
Yeah, which buys you crucial time to play it more.
Exactly. So. The only other thing that makes me worry about it is just that people are going to be like, I'm going to be fucking Man United and someone else is going to be some shitty women's team who are in like the bottom women's league or one of the worst, and they'll just batter me still and rub it in even more. So that's the only thing that concerns me about it.
Yeah. Well, when this first announced, my first response was actually it just said waste of resource. That was my exact response. And what I meant by that was that
women's football or the inclusion?
No, the inclusion of it. For me, I thought if I bought FIFA, to me that would be a waste of resource. I would have probably zero intention of using it. However, should EA Sports be looking at trying to reach as many different parts of the gaming community as possible? Absolutely. And I don't think it's a great deal of work for them to include this particular. These teams in there. They might have to do some mo capture and obviously the skins and whatnot. I'm personally not going to play them. It doesn't mean that others aren't, and it's not going to interest certain segments of the audience. So it's a win all round. Obviously, you've got really horribly sexist people saying, "Oh, they're invading our game," all that sort of nonsense. But I wouldn't play it personally. But that's just me. I wouldn't play because I find it hard to hold my interest for too long. But there's people out there will play.
You want to play as a good team rather than you want to play as the best of the best, don't you? Like I say, I have no problem with it. I just hope that it doesn't go to either of the extremes where people are being A, horrendously sexist, and people are B, then saying, well, we should have women's teams in everything, and we should have female protagonists in every game, and you should have the option. I mean, a lot of games you have the option to play as a female character, but I don't want it to be in every single game. Like games that are designed with a lead male character, I don't want people to start getting the uproar then and start saying, well, it's not equal.
You don't want a trend, do you, of it suddenly becoming cool to have it included. If it fits the story and the purpose of the game, sure, by all means, I'm happy to play it, but don't
go over the top of it, Let's not go to either extreme.
No, that's it, certainly. Logan, I mean, you buy FIFA probably what? You'd say every year, every other year? Probably every year now, isn't it still?
Yeah, if I'm going to play it. I don't think I'm going to buy it next year, though.
Okay, so I was going to ask you, actually, is it at all... Well, you're not going to buy it, so it's probably a mute question now, but if you were going to buy it and you found out this was going to be one of their main features, because it actually was marketed as a new feature, would you be a little bit disappointed they won't work on other aspects of the game?
No, not really. I don't think there's a lot else for him to work on.
Well, a lot of people are saying the last 2 years have been broken. And that is...
I don't think it's been broken. Well, it hasn't felt broke to me. But I just don't... I've sort of run my course a bit with FIFA. I want to play some other stuff. I bought it, FIFA 15, and I've hardly really played it, so I can't really justify buying 16.
We spent 17 minutes talking about FIFA versus Pro Evo ages ago, and now you're saying you're not interested?
Yeah.
Unbelievable waste of
It's
resource.
not a bad game, but I'd rather sit there playing other stuff, I think.
Goat Simulator?
No, I used to just enjoy playing. I used to enjoy it as
Real
a break,
games.
just a few comedy games of FIFA. But since that's dried up, I don't tend to play it by myself.
I think that's it. I think it's that not many other people have got it.
No.
Because I'm the same. I've got FIFA 14, and I just never play it because no one else has it. I used to play it a bit when someone else had it, and we were playing it for a little while together. But since the interest has...
I played it a bit with Pete. I played a bit of co-op seasons, which was good. I'm glad they introduced that. But there's only so many games I can get annoyed with Pete with, so after that really run its course. I played a little bit of career mode and then just binned it.
Got rid of it. So the overall, feeling is that we're not bothered it's included. It's not going to affect the game. Probably a good move.
I'm not bothered it's included. I'm not that bothered about the game, and I'm just not that bothered.
Done. Just quickly before we get off this subject, you can't really mention FIFA without mentioning the corruption scandal that's been whirled up in the news of late. Do you think this could damage the brand of EA Sports or FIFA EA Sports, or even the sales of it? Because it's not a great name to be attached to at this point in time, is it?
No, I don't think there's anything to worry about there.
Why not?
It's just a name. People will still buy it.
Yeah,
but you don't think EA Sports might want to distance themselves from that, because they dropped Tiger Woods when he had his PR disaster a few years back. He's off the PGA Tour games. Rory McIlroy's been installed for this one. I know that they can't really do this with FIFA because the licenses mean everything, but
I think you've just kind of answered your own question there. It's because of the licenses. They'll never drop it because that was their big selling point over Pro Evo, really, wasn't it? That they had all the official names, etc. They've got all the official kits, all the official balls, stadiums, etc., etc. And whilst the whole fucking corruption scandal's not exactly been a brilliant day for football, I don't think it's really going to affect the game all that much.
No, I doubt it
Just
either.
rename it EA Sports Soccer.
Yeah, I don't think FIFA will give them the licenses though, would they? They'll be like, nope, you can't
No,
have.
you're not doing that.
Well, judging by that, give them a fucking couple of quid and they'll give it to you. So
They probably have been. That's why Pro Evo have been stung out of it for the last few decades. FIFA have been taking bungs off EA. That's how it works technically with a license, so you'd expect them to pay for it, but there you go.
It's bribes.
There's bribes going in. That's fine. FIFA wrapped up and done with. That'll probably be one of the last times we speak of FIFA until maybe it releases again, because it sounds like none of us are that interested in it. Moving on to a new IP from Nintendo, Splatoon has hit the shelves. So, Hall, you're the only Wii U owner on this bi-weekly podcast.
Yep.
Any interest in this?
I think it looks brilliant.
Haven't got it though.
No, mostly because I'm probably not going to go out and buy it for full price.
So isn't it about £35-40, or is that, I can't remember, is it not? It's not a full price. It's not like a brand new Xbox One game, for example. It's a bit cheaper. Am I right in saying that, or am I off?
I don't think it's a million miles off, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I think you can get it for about about 30 quid, around that mark.
Yeah.
So it's not awful by any stretch of the imagination. But I think it looks brilliant. I think it's a really clever idea. The only thing that worries me, obviously I haven't played it, and I just don't know how much there's going to be to it.
Yeah, well, one of the criticisms I've seen in the reviews is that there's not a lot of content in there. So in terms of maps,
it just is what it is. Yeah, you're kind of just running around spraying stuff with paint, but it's what Nintendo are very good at, isn't it? It's a good party game. It's a relatively simple idea, but they've obviously executed it really well. It's got pretty good reviews across the board. It's sold really well. Yeah. Like I say, I'm definitely tempted to have a look at it. I'll probably see if any of my fellow Wii U owners are going to go out and buy it, because it'd be a good one to play online with.
There's only 3 of you out there, isn't there?
If that. But no, it's like I say, it's a typical Nintendo game, and it's a family party game, and it'd be a fun one to play if there was a few people over and you're all a bit pissed, and you could just run around being Burks.
Yeah, no, I mean, they've released a content pack in August, I believe, so it'll be a few months before they get that. Whether by that time people have got bored of it, like you said, with what's already on there and put it down, we will see. But it is Nintendo's biggest new IP for the Wii U. But then my question back would be, well, how many of those do they release every year? Not very many. So it's not surprising that's number one.
No, but it was second on the UK sales charts, wasn't it?
Yeah. But it's a quiet time still, is what I'd say. The only other game I remember coming out in the last week is that Hatred game, which...
Well, it was second to The Witcher, wasn't it? And that was it.
It's hard to beat that. It's on across all platforms and getting a lot of buzz.
Yeah, it was never going to beat that, really, but...
No. Well, it's good. I think it's a good news story for what it is, So...
Yeah. I've been impressed with it.
It's a good launch, and hopefully they add some more content to it and it keeps some players engaged by the time I get around to buying a Wii U, if that time ever comes. Let's move on to Sony. They've had a bit of a stinker. A couple of weeks back, they actually had a report on BBC Watchdog regarding their refund policy. So essentially, what happens is someone uses your PlayStation account to download some games on their system. It's fraudulent activity. You phone Sony up saying, I didn't make these purchases. They come back and say, we don't do refunds. Customer, you go to your bank. They do refund you because it's part of the terms and services of what they do. But they also claim the money back from Sony. So they actually charge them back. Sony then suspend your PlayStation account because you're in arrears.
Yeah.
So this actually...
It's been happening for quite a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'd heard on message boards and chat, or not chat rooms. What the fuck am I talking about? Going back 20 years.
Chat roulette.
On message board, chat roulette caught me out. That this was taking place, and I was really surprised that no one had picked it up like Watchdog, because they're normally quite hot on these things. But I'm glad they did, because that is a horrendous policy to have in place.
Comedy.
Well, the thing that surprised me is I've not seen any complaints about Microsoft having the same problem or doing the same thing. So maybe it was just a Sony thing. But if you'd be a bit livid, wouldn't you, Logan? If you just had 40 quid taken out of your account, took you 2 weeks for your bank to refund it. Then when they did, your online account suspended, so no online gaming, and all your digital games are gone.
Yeah, you'd be livid.
Yeah. You're not going to be happy about that. It's disgraceful that it ever happened, really, and hopefully that the BBC shine a big torch up their arse is going to actually cause them to change their policy. Yeah, that will. They did say in their little, they always go, "Oh, this is what Sony had to say on the situation." They basically said they're reviewing their investigations process that has applied to allegations of unauthorised account use. So didn't say they're changing the policy. So there's probably still going to be suspensions out there. Hopefully, though, the investigation team will pull the finger up the arse and actually activate people's accounts, because it's not the way to go about things at all. Rumour, not confirmed yet, but could be confirmed by the time this podcast drops. New Xbox One controller with a 3mm port, which basically means you'll be able to accept most third-party pieces of headgear, so a normal jack, basically. You surprised at this, Hall, because you'd think this is a monopoly for them to have a control where you can only plug their kit in with a weird... I don't even know what port that is on the Xbox One controller.
I think they had a lot of complaints about it, didn't they? Because it, especially for a lot of people who do a lot of streaming on YouTube and doing a lot of filming and putting it onto YouTube, the old Xbox 360, it was relatively straightforward to just record your party chat through the headset that you had. But with this new one, it will record everyone else that's in game chat, but it won't record your own voice.
Excellent.
So unless you have the adapter and blah 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 and all that other bullshit, and I think this might solve that issue. I'm not 100% on that, but I can only presume that would be one of the reasons behind it. Otherwise, I don't really see the point. Like the headset that came out with the PS4, that fucking widdly piece
it ain't
of
a headset,
shit wire.
It's a worm.
It's a wire. With
it ain't a headset. It's bollocks. To call it a headset is criminal. I'll go back to the fucking watchdog.
Exactly.
Let's buy a new one. Or £8, Amazon, go get it.
Well, I had to buy a new one for my Xbox, to be fair, because I broke my first one. But
that's because you're a clumsy bastard.
It's not. It's because I get angry and start throwing it around. But anyway, I just don't see... I don't know. The thing is, everyone who's bought a console, I suppose if you're buying a second controller, it kind of makes sense, because it means you don't have to go out and buy a second headset. You can just use like a temporary headset if you've got like mates coming over and you both want to be able to talk online.
Yeah.
That's the only other reason I can possibly think of it for. But
no. Logan, was you ever annoyed at the fact that it had this weird jack fucking slot in there, not a normal one where you could have just picked up a old headset from wherever?
It was a bit weird. I didn't really understand why they'd done it.
But why don't you mean why they had the bespoke port to start with?
Well, I thought because I've got loads of old headsets and stuff from my 360, so I thought I'd just be able to use them. Obviously, I couldn't.
What? Do you know what connection they were? Were they just a normal?
They were 3.5 jack.
All right, so pretty standard.
Okay. And then this one come out, and you bung it in, and it's good in a way, because I always used to fucking pull my other one out. It really stressed me out. But this one ain't going anywhere. But at the same time, I think, if I break that, it's like another 20 quid. And I think,
you can't just get a cheapie, can you? Because you have to buy their only one.
I prefer it if they'd have just put a clip around it or something, or some sort of locking mechanism to lock in a 3.5mm one. Jesus. That's what I would have suggested if they want to do that. But,
well, the thing is, they've got the one that we're using now. They've got an adapter to switch that to a 3.5 jack.
Right.
That's out. Like, that exists.
So you have to buy that separately.
Yeah. You know what? It's like those fucking Apple cunts. Where
that's what I was going to say to you, Logan. Because you've got an iPhone, so I was going to actually bring you up and say, what's the difference between you getting the iPhone and them only accepting their own version of it and not others? There's not a great deal of difference in it, is there?
Well, no, but okay. So when I say the iPhone, I mean most phones now have pretty specific chargers anyway. So Samsung will have theirs.
No, they've got these micro
USB.
You can use that across pretty much all of them.
Well, anyway, what I was referring to is when they changed the iPhone 4 charger to the iPhone 5
the Lightning one,
the Lightning one. And I was thinking, well, why have you done that other than to charge people for a new fucking lead?
To be fair to them, they made a big case as to why it was suitable, or more suitable, because there's loads of stuff that the iPhone 5 and the iPhone 6 do wirelessly that had to be done via wire on the iPhone 4, and because they cut a load of features out they didn't need to do via wire anymore, that's why the charger became so much smaller and more efficient.
I'm not sure about the efficiency.
Wow.
I've
not had an iPhone for about 3 years now, since I finally got off Apple handsets. Is it the headset jack, so the headset that you plug in and listen to your music on, is that bespoke or is that universal?
3.5.
And you can plug it, so I could plug my ones that I've bought off the internet in onto that, and it'll work fine.
Yeah. Could you imagine if you couldn't?
Well, no, for some reason I'd heard from someone that you couldn't, but maybe they were referring to the chargers.
Grab them and bin them.
They're an idiot.
I don't think they're a real human. I read it on a message board or a chat room again.
Chat rooms.
You need to fucking stay off
roulette.
No, well, if I stayed off there, we wouldn't have a podcast to do. So unfortunately,
sorry, does Trapes is chat roulette looking for news stories,
finding bollocks, and then us out in it, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe that should be a new feature. Out in the bollocks. Anyway, Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection, October the 9th. That will feature the PlayStation 3 trilogy of the Uncharted series. Great again for those that who have come over from Microsoft and never got a chance to play it. They're in for an absolute treat. I wish God of War done this instead of just doing God of War 3. Then it doesn't look like they're going to. It's a bit of a nightmare. You, Per, I mean, you two stayed on the Xbox, particularly you, Logan. You wanted to stay in certain Hall. You made the first step. Was there any, looking back now, as you bought a PlayStation 4, you could have played, Uncharted, which you hadn't played before, all three of them. You could have played The Last of Us and a couple of other remasters that are coming out. Is there any air of regret in there that you could have played some of these games that you haven't had a chance to play, and also that a lot of people have been shitting their pants over for the last 3 to 5 years?
Nope.
Nope.
No, there's always going to be games that you have that come out on the opposite console.
Yeah.
It's always going to happen, but then, I mean, you could say the same thing about PlayStation owners and Sunset Overdrive, the Halo Master Chief Collection, Halo 5 when it comes out. Yeah. There's always going to be games on either one of the two. But I think, probably the biggest selling point, well, two of the biggest selling points for me on the Xbox One over the PS4 were the controller.
The Kinect. Oh.
Because I don't know why PlayStation are still using the same shitty controller.
Right, that controller, that DualShock 4 is a quality bit of kit.
Yeah,
I'm not even saying that just to be annoying. That is actually a good controller.
But it's not a patch on the Xbox One or the Xbox 360.
Absolutely not.
I think it's better, boys.
No way.
The pair of you have not played enough on. I've got both of them.
I used to have a PS1. It's literally not fucking changed.
Right. You're an idiot. It has changed. The PS3 controller was shit. Everyone knows that. But honestly, this DualShock 4 is actually good. And I'm not.
I'll have to
give
it a go.
I've got no reason to bang the Sony drum there. I think it's a better overall controller. The only thing I don't like are the triggers. The triggers on the Xbox One are really good. I like the dampeners on them. But everywhere else, it's got a touchpad. It's got the speaker already built in, which you think is a small shitty feature. But for games like Alien Isolation,
the speaker on the thing is Xbox have missed a big trick there. I don't know why they haven't included that. Like the Wii did it, and it was just such a good idea. But anyway, the controller is one thing, and the other thing was the achievement system. I know you have trophies on the PlayStation, but no one gives a fuck.
No, but it's good for me, so I don't get tangled up in it. So I don't.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, because now I
just play a game and not worry.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just ruining my life, going right. I need them collectibles.
Dear me. No, yeah, I think we should both come out and play the PlayStation 4. Not on my account, because although I don't care about the trophies, I don't want you getting any trophies for me. That'll
just in case.
I'll have to delete the account that I've worked so hard on over the last few years. But honestly, it is the PlayStation 3 controller, toilet. PlayStation 2 seemed alright. PlayStation 1 was alright. PlayStation 4 one, very, very good. Probably better slightly than the Xbox One. But everyone has their preferences. Some people don't like the parallel analog sticks being in line. They like them slightly slanted, so that's never going to change. Mr. Hall, you've actually been on a shopping spree. Well, I would call it a shopping spree. You spent £30. You went out and bought Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor and Sunset Overdrive. This is you trying to kick the Destiny addiction.
Yeah.
Let's start with Shadow of Mordor. Overall opinion. There's Game of the Year on some people's charts. It was highly rated. It was a bit of a sleeper. A lot of people weren't expecting much out of it, and then it popped out and people were impressed. What's Mr. Hall's official opinion?
Average game. Very average game.
Average or above average?
Below average.
Bloody hell.
If I'm gonna lean one way or the other,
out of 10,
5.
That's average then. You have to say
a generous 5. I was toying between 4 and 5.
Fucking hell, that is harsh.
The thing is, it's got quite a good premise to it. I like the Lord of the Rings games. I know you don't, and you obviously played this as well, but I don't. I love the Lord of the Rings films.
Crap.
And
that Hobbit, shit.
It's just, I thought the combat system was just a shit version of Batman.
Yeah,
I thought the climbing system was a shit version of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I thought the controls were pretty counterintuitive. All that happens is you go somewhere, you get a big fucking muggy group of cunts come all at you all at once, and all I was doing was just running away. Yeah. Most of them would follow, some would give up, then a few more would give up until I got it down to like the 3 or 4 that I actually needed to worry about, and then I just pick them off one at a time. Yeah. It was just, I've finished the campaign now, plowed through it in about 4 days.
Cool.
I've got to go back and do all the...
You haven't got to go back,
4 days. That's 4 days not at work.
You haven't got to go back and do this bit, Hall.
But I'm going to go back and get all the collectibles and all the other shit. And like
you're a nutcase.
The thing is, the game is built around... Like a lot of it tells you to do in stealth. The stealth on it is so shit.
That's crap,
It is so poor. It's so badly handled. The heads-up display is terrible.
HUD.
You'll be looking at
gamers is the HUD.
You'll be looking at your objective, like you'll mark it on the map, and it'll appear like it's in front of you. Yeah. You'll start going towards it, and then all of a sudden it'll go straight over your head, and you'll realise actually it's
they
just
might have been flying.
The game couldn't fucking cope with what was happening, and it was telling you to go in the wrong direction.
Yeah. What about the Nemesis system? Quickly,
Loved that. Thought that was really clever. The idea that basically you have, for those that haven't played it, you've got 5 war chiefs who are like the top dicks, basically.
The daddies, aren't they?
Yeah, and then you've got X amount of captains below them, and each time that you kill someone who's of more seniority, one of the people below him is ready to step into his place. Right. So you would end up with like duels between them to fight for a top spot.
Yeah.
If one of them kills you, then they increase in power and might get promoted because they've killed you. Yeah. All of these kind of bits and pieces. I thought that was really clever.
Yeah. I really liked it, but the overall
and just
game
in the same way that you said in your review of it.
Yeah. Oh, you watched it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They don't make enough of it. The thing is, the idea is that a war chief has his bodyguard captains. You can go after the captains that protect the war chief in order to make doing the war chief over a lot easier. Like, you can win them over onto your side, or you can kill them so he's got less bodyguards. And in reality, all you end up doing is just going, fuck that.
Yeah,
I'll just go straight in and just fucking annihilate a lot of them.
Yeah,
the final boss is one of the shittest bosses I've ever seen as well, by the way.
Awful.
I'm just going to throw that out there.
It is an absolute sack of crap, that is. That is
the
worst
took me
boss ever.
Probably about 60 seconds. It is fucking embarrassing. Otherwise, though, good game.
Yeah, well, I've got 5 out of 10 on the Hall scale.
4.5.
4.5. Hall, you really love Sunset Overdrive, though. You were gushing to me on text and whatnot. You really enjoyed this game. I'm glad you did, because I seem to be one of some few people that seem to have enjoyed that game.
Amazing game. One of my games of the year.
Yes.
Easily. It's absolutely superb, and I worry that Shadow of Mordor got slightly muddied by the fact that I'd played Sunset beforehand, and everything about it is just absolutely spot on.
You go from this bright, colourful, vibrant world to this dull, dingy, shitty middle-earth, full of orcs and bastards.
Yeah, it's just such a good game. Everything about it, they've just got absolutely right. It is like Tony Hawk's on crack. Yeah. It's like a mixture of Tony Hawk's come GTA. Yeah. Just gone absolutely and you're tripping on acid at the same time. Yeah. It's so good. The storyline to it is brilliant. The characters you can really get involved with.
Yeah, good fun.
It doesn't take itself too seriously. It constantly references the fact that it's actually a video game, and you need to go outside and whatever else. It takes the piss out of you as much as it takes the piss out of itself.
Maybe that was just your play for it. Realised you were just sitting
right probably. Well, that took me. I've done that. I think I'm on about 95% of everything, and that took me about 3 days.
Hours worth? What do you reckon?
35.
That's a decent chunk of time and value of it.
Yeah. I'm now left with just the only criticism I've got is the online, but that's purely because no one's playing it anymore.
Yeah, it's because it's an older game, I guess.
And I can't find people to do the online achievements with.
Nah, if I hadn't traded mine, I'd have happily helped you, but it's gone now. Out of 10. Sunset Overdrive on the Hall official scale.
That's a 9, maybe a 9.5.
Excellent. Well,
definitely my one. I'm torn between that and Destiny for so far the game of this year in terms of one I've played the most.
Cool. That's a stamp of approval from Hall. Let's move on to Fallout 4. They had an official trailer revealed of this, which I'm very happy about. No concrete release date, although that might change by the time this podcast drops. Lots of rumours that it'll be in 2015.
Next week.
Well, that would be incredible. But if I wasn't going for holiday in 2 weeks, I'd be livid actually, because I'd lose out on a lot of playtime. I think that's wishful thinking. 2015.
Yeah.
Mr. Logan, did you see the trailer by any chance? I asked you to watch it, but I guess you didn't.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You actually did.
Yeah.
And you haven't played Fallout 3 before, had you?
Yeah, I had. Yeah.
You had?
Yeah.
Good God, you actually played some good games, right? I want to get your opinion on this then, because I wasn't aware of that. Not the way he says it as though I should have known that, but
no, I didn't play a lot. I dropped I dropped it quite early on.
Good God, how have you done that?
There was Scrabblers.
You mean like what they called? I can't remember what they're called now. The feral.
Yeah,
that have gone a bit weird.
Didn't like it.
Yeah, but that was only
that was back in deep Call of Duty 4 territory as well.
Yeah, it was tough to get any showtime, but I dragged myself away from it.
Yeah, I played it. I think in Fallout 3 I went to the first city or the outpost thing. I can't remember. You get out.
Megaton. Yeah, Megaton.
Yeah, I got there and I faffed around there for a little bit, and I went out venturing, and I remember there was a big bastard somewhere and loads of other scrabblers, and I was like, right, I ain't dealing with scrabblers, so
that was the only reason you just didn't.
That's it. Too hard.
Well, there was a couple of. It wasn't really my sort of game back then.
First-person shooter.
No,
it's not really though, is it?
Wow.
It's not a first-person shooter at all. You can't really label it as that.
I was trying to. Yeah, if I was trying to search, and that's what I would have said. I'd gone, oh yeah, the first-person shooter. You got it.
It's not, is it?
No, it ain't.
You see, I'm not like you. Like you like to really get yourself immersed into a game and storyline, and you get really.
The storyline wasn't all that good, but it's just the exploration I loved and that. Just wandering around.
See, I don't like just wandering. I get bored quickly. I don't know. It was the same with Skyrim a little bit, and I know it's a completely different.
Same team, so this
it's very similar.
But I sort of go from one place to the other, and you talk to people, and I just think I just want to do it. And I hate travelling. I hate long travel. But it wasn't that bad. I think if I remember rightly, I think I got stuck as to what I needed to do, and then I just got sick of it.
It wouldn't surprise me if that was a glitch in the game, because early on there was a few bugs with the game.
A few problems, weren't there?
It didn't feel overly clear what I was supposed to be doing.
And it's part of the intrigue for some people, isn't it? It sort of lets you go on, do and make.
Yeah, well, maybe that's. But I felt like, because I'd never played that before, and I think that was really my first proper venture into an open world game.
Right.
I felt like I probably needed more direction than it gave me.
Yeah, it's not like the GTAs you probably would have played before, perhaps, where it's a clear map,
big icons.
Where you go, you can get in a car, you're there in 5 seconds.
Yeah,
you're getting on. This was you could be walking for 15 minutes.
But I'm not going to slate it as a bad game or anything, because I just really didn't. It probably at that time wasn't really my game. No. It seemed pretty good, but I feel like I'm at a point now where I would like to give a game my proper time and try and get into the story and the actual game. So I think Fallout 4 might be one that I'm looking at.
Good.
And I'd like to give it a good go, because everyone did rave about Fallout 3, and it's too late for me to really go back and do it.
No, exactly. No, that's good news. I'm glad that Fallout 4's on your radar at least.
It's not giving a lot away, that little trailer, like they don't really normally do, but...
No, well, you've got to think E3's in a couple of weeks. They've got their own press conference, which we're going to talk about a bit later, so they're probably saving a lot of the good stuff, quote unquote, for that. What I was happy with is that all the stuff that they show was actually in-game footage, so it wasn't pre-rendered, any of that bollocks. So you could tell, because the dog didn't look very good.
Yeah.
Like the close-up of dog meat, I don't know if it's called dog meat again, I assume you will be, didn't look like... Normally, you'd see like a Call of Duty trailer, everything's raised up to the max. It's a
like
CG
the Witcher
trailer.
3 one.
Yeah, it looks all very
it's a cinematic
realistic.
trailer,
That's
where
it.
some separate company has come in and gone, right, we'll make an advert.
Yeah, and they haven't done that here, to be fair to Bethesda. They've actually gone out and just showed the game in its native form, and warts and all, it's out there, which is good, because it shows the game must be hopefully ready for 2015. But
I don't think it is. And I'm glad that they haven't gone, it'll be this date, and then we'll be back at delay news.
Yeah, well, if we're coming next time and it's delay news for that, there's no release date. I will be livid if this gets delayed, but we've got no date on it. I'm expecting a 2016 date.
That would be good for me and my plans.
Your backlogs.
Backlog
news. The only, if I'm going to have one criticism about it...
Oh, no. I don't think I can allow this.
The only thing that I was going to say is I don't want it to be I don't want it to be Fallout 3.
Yes, that's what I want.
Don't get me wrong, I loved Fallout 3 and I don't mind it, but from that trailer, it looked an awful lot like Fallout 3 Mark II, didn't it?
But your character can talk. So
they didn't show that in the trailer though, or anything.
He says to the dog,
other than a tiny little bit talking.
So that to me suggests he can talk.
The city looks pretty good as well, to be fair.
But it's like I say, it's almost exactly the same as Fallout 3. Wow. Don't get me wrong.
There's only so much you can do with a disastrous sort of
nuclear wasteland.
There's only so much you can do with that.
No. Don't get me wrong. Like I say, well looking forward to it, proper hyped up for it, but if I had to be overly critical, I don't want it to be exactly the same as Fallout 3.
I'd like it to be a mix between Fallout 3 and Mad Max.
You mean as in the game or the?
Yep.
We've not played the game, Logan. So
well, and the film. So what you can imagine
films.
Mad Max is.
Well, Mad Max is actually an open world game which has vehicular combat in it, so that might be
60% vehicular combat, 40% foot combat.
Sounds like good.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the film, by the way, anyone that's listening, if you haven't seen the film, go out and watch it. It's really good.
I haven't seen the new one.
I don't normally recommend it.
It's really good.
Jodie.
Yeah, honestly, it's one of those ones you want to see in the cinema though, because of the effects and stuff. I don't really care about
3D.
Nah, hate cinema. No, it was filmed in 2D. Don't bother.
Wow.
It's filmed in 2D and then up-resed to 3D.
I'm not going to bother.
Way, it's good. Anyway, bin that. Let's get on to the penultimate part of this. Valve's Steam Machine. They will be released November the 10th. Not clear if that's a US or a UK or a European release date. Probably US and hopefully over these shores soon. But you can pre-order them now if you want. And you can get it a month early, almost a month early in October. And the prices seem to be ranging between the £290 mark and £500 mark, and a bit more, maybe a bit less, depending on the range of machine that you want. Mr. Logan, we had a quick chat about this before we came on in the WhatsApp group. It was a late addition to the podcast. You are not impressed. Or
no,
no. Hang on, this. I've got the messages here. If I need to read them out.
Yeah, that's fine. What I said was that I'm not convinced that people will go for it. If you read it, that is what has been said, and I think that may be the case, but I don't. That's just my gut feeling. I don't think it's going to be that huge, but I could well be wrong.
Here's my opinion on it. If they market it as clearly as a console, so if you market these Steam machines as alongside the Wii U, alongside the PlayStation 4, alongside the Xbox One, then I think it could be a hit, because it essentially allows someone to take advantage of all the awesome Steam sales and all the things that you get on there, but play them like a console and have it almost feel like a console. And it will be technically, a console at the end of the day, because it'll be plugged into your telly. It won't need a mouse, keyboard, all that sort of nonsense. The PC big rig users, probably it's not going to appeal to them, is it? They've already committed to being, a PC gamer. But if you're looking for your next console, say you haven't committed to a PlayStation 4, an Xbox One, or a Wii U, or you've only got a Wii U or one of the others, and you want an accompanying, console with it, then this could catch your eye, because it's a console that plays PC games. It's a console that's you can get cheaper games for, and if you get the right sort of range in your price, you're probably going to be looking at a more powerful machine. As long as they understand and they market the fact that this is going to be a console, and the life cycle of this Steam machine is going to be similar.
It's finite rather than...
Yeah, it's not a PC where you can keep upgrading. So it's going to be... It's what I'm saying. If they market it as a console, and you know that in 5 years' time, when the new machines come out, when the PlayStation 5, Xbox 2, you're going to have to reinvest. It's not a PC that you can keep adding bits and bobs to. If they market it in such a way that it's going to be a fourth play on the console, I can see it being quite a success.
I just don't know whether... I don't know. When I think about it logically, so I think millions of people have already bought PS4, Wii U, Xbox One.
Yep. Not everyone. They're still selling.
Yeah. Millions of people. All I'm saying is millions of people have already done that.
Billions on the earth. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
How many millions of people are already on PC and will go, well, I've already got a good PC rig, I don't need to. So then you've just got this niche. I think you just got this niche of people. Well, this is my opinion, so you can't just nope it. You've got to accept that. No. So you've got this niche of people that haven't got a good PC, or have either got one of the consoles or want a console and go for this one.
So you're saying most of the sales for all the platforms, all the consoles have already been sold, that we're not going to sell much more in the future. There's not a market for that.
So all the people that were really eager to buy a console, that are probably into their gaming, have already been out and got their console.
Yeah, but there's still a lot more to sell. I think the last sales that came for the other consoles around the 80 million mark, and PlayStation's only just about hit 20. So it's a big load of people that haven't gone out and committed yet.
So how many people, though, are going to know about Steam, are going to know about the Steam machine, what games are on there? Most people who aren't already on Steam probably already got enough what they want. I I think it will sell well, but I don't think it's going to rival the consoles, the big 3 consoles that are there for sales. Right. I just don't.
The way that I see it is that I don't think they'll market it as a console, but I don't think they will market it as a rival to necessarily the PlayStation and the Xbox.
Just quickly, I saw one of the marketing one of the bits and bobs, and it said the real next gen has arrived.
Right, okay. So well, the way that I look at it, the thing is we haven't seen any of it, so I can't really judge. But the way that I see it is, like Logan, you were saying that people have bought the next gen consoles, have made their minds up, and blah, 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 right? I've bought a next gen console. I've got my Xbox One. I'm happy with it, mostly.
Wow.
I've got a laptop, and I faff around on Steam on that. Yeah. I don't do much on it on Steam because my laptop's a hunk of shit in comparison to what it needs to be in order to run most of the games on Steam. If a Steam console came out, I would be very, very tempted to buy the potentially bottom end one. Yeah,
but that's my concern, is that you say your laptop's not good enough, but that bottom end one, the games on Steam are meant for PCs. They are meant for PCs.
But it's going to be. They're not going to just release a console that can't run half the games.
Well, in 2 years' time, PC. You've got to remember that PC hardware moves forward very quickly.
I'm not debating
very quickly.
My point
is the games will be designed to run on those.
Hang on a minute. Right. So the current games that are out now run on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. The PCs are getting better and better and better. But we can still, there's no real PC exclusives out that can't run on the current consoles. Most of these Steam machines will be as powerful, if not more powerful, than Xbox One and PlayStation 4. So I don't think this notion of the hardware moving on is going to affect them at all, because they're going to scale back everything to fit on the 2 big consoles and maybe the Wii U.
So get one of them then.
Get one of what?
No, but what if the thing is, it's not for that. I'm not looking for something to replace my Xbox One. I'm saying that if there is the opportunity to play Steam games on a console with a controller instead of having to buy a big expensive PC,
then I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I've got a gaming laptop, but it's a hassle. It's a laptop. I still want it on my television. I still want to be able to. I don't want to go out and buy a mouse and keyboard. I want to have a controller that I can use. I want to have. I would want
a controller
to have,
then.
Right, you're completely ignoring the whole point of exactly what I'm saying. The point that I'm saying
I just plug my controller into my laptop and it's done. My laptop
is not going to be anywhere near as powerful as, say, for example, the bottom end machine is going to be. As happy I'd say, my laptop would not be able to run something like The Witcher. It just wouldn't happen.
No.
The bottom level console, you would imagine, will be able to run The Witcher. Because why would they release it otherwise?
Yeah. Like I said, I think the consoles they'll release are going to be as powerful as what you've paid 300, 400 quid for in the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. So I don't think there's going to be games out there that are not going to be able to run, because they have to make them scalable enough to fit on the consoles that we've got at the moment. If you look at an ultra setting PC of Witcher, it is far superior to what we've got on the consoles, but they still look good on the consoles and they're still powerful enough, and I can't see them releasing a model of the Steam machine that won't at least
run all the games
to that level. Because I've said this before, I think that the consoles dictate what pace gameplay and graphics move on to, because there's so much money in the consoles that the publishers can't afford to just exclude them and go, right, let's make a game just for PC and take advantage of all the power here, because there's not enough money to be made in it.
Yeah.
No, and so they have to scale things back to fit on the money consoles, as I call them.
What I would say is as well that I really hope, obviously it's running with the Steam OS.
Yeah, which is like a
Linux-based operating system. I hope that still has all the features and everything. So if it was a console that enabled mods, and I know that's probably far out thinking.
No, that's a good point, because that is a big
attraction to a lot of the Steam games is that you can mod them. Like, imagine being able to play GTA 5 with the PC version with all the mods.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be a huge seller, because everyone would just ditch their console version and just go straight to that.
Yeah, No, that's a good point. I've never even considered about the mods because that's a big hitter, isn't it? Like I said, I'm quite excited for this. I wasn't at all interested, but then when I sat down and thought about it, I thought there's certainly people out there that could definitely benefit from this. My main concerns are with one simple one, which I'm sure has been addressed and I've missed, but how voice chat works. Because I don't know how. Normally on a PC you've got to download Team Talk or you use Skype. Things like that. How's that going to work through a Steam machine? They're going to bring out a client to run that. And the other thing is, going back to the marketing, if they flood the market and make it too complex of all these different versions, all these different makers, there's going to be a lot of saturation there, and there needs to be a clear distinction between each of the different grades in performance, and people need to know what's under the hood. Now, what can the consoles do to respond to this? Get them bloody exclusives out the door and to us, because that's going to be the kicker. That's going to be right. You don't need a Steam machine because you can't play The Last of Us 2, you can't play Halo 5, you can't play these new IPs, these new games, because they're only on the money consoles. That's where Microsoft and Sony are going to have to step up now. And I think this is good for the industry. I think it's going to generate a lot more appetite and hunger and competition, because there potentially could be a new player in the actual front room when it comes to your actual gaming consoles.
Yeah.
Anyway, one last thing I wanted to mention before we finish up on this Valve Steam machines is the Steam Link, which is going to be £40 as a standalone streaming device where you can play your current PC library on your telly. So I could have my telly on, I could have my telly on, my PC on, and plug that into the telly and start playing through that. That's going to come bundled in with some of the Steam packages. I assume that's for people that just want to, rather than plug wires in and hook it all up and piss around, they can just stream it to their telly and play their big games and their PC games on that. And we can't leave the conversation without mentioning the Steam controller, which is coming along with this. I've seen a few demos of it, not convinced myself.
It looks like poop.
But it's one of those things that you have to play to find out if it's any good. And my understanding is you can plug other third-party controllers in anyway, so you could probably use a wired Xbox 360 controller, which a lot of people are doing these days anyway. Anyway, enough of that bickering and arguing. It got a little bit heated there, but that's good. That's what I like to hear. Let's move on to E3, because by the time us three speak again, E3 will be done and dusted. So I'll just go through the rundown of what's actually taking place, who's doing what and when. So Sunday, June the 14th, you've got Bethesda's E3 conference. Monday the 15th, you've got Microsoft, EA, Ubisoft, Sony. Tuesday, you've got Nintendo, Square Enix, and the PC Gaming Show, which is a first up there. Mr. Logan, before we get into what you're looking and what you're maybe picking out of doing, what does E3 mean to you? Is it this big all-encompassing gaming event that you enjoy, or do you think it's a little bit of like overhype?
I think people now, or companies, hold up on things for E3. I think it's become sort of the big release or promo parts for their games and IPs and stuff.
Yeah, so there's a lot of eyes on there, isn't there? So
so I feel like Fallout 4, as E3 comes up, you sort of hear about it. Do you know what I mean? And and they sort of go, oh look, there's a little teaser, and then you go, oh, I want to see more, and they'll go, eyes on E3.
Yeah,
so that's it. I don't really like that, and I don't know. Because I don't like the idea that they're holding it back for a big event.
It's the same with DLC, isn't it? That they create games that aren't finished and they hold shit back.
They're not charging you for E3 though, are they?
No, I know, but I get the point that Logan's making. Just tell me about it when it's ready. Yeah. Say, all right, we're making Fallout 4, by the way. We've just started on it. Yeah. Don't go.
I get that, but I do like the fact that there's these 3 days where
and sometimes
all sorts of shit's kicking off, and you think, I know I'm going to get some good info out of this.
Yeah, but sometimes I feel that they need to then drum something up, because they can't go there and go, well, we got fuck all.
Fuck all.
So I feel like then they go, well, we need something for E3. I don't know what we can do. I don't know. I just think if you've got a good game out there, then tell me about it when you're doing it, and don't feel pressured to announce it or produce something at E3.
Easy to say, but you think about the amount of attention.
I know it's money, and attention. Yeah, I get that. But I just think from an idealist point of view.
So you'd want just trailers are popping out every week, just coming out of your arses. So give us more to talk about probably on these podcasts if stuff wasn't all just held up.
Now we're going to be inundated next week with
more
on a bumper episode. 2 weeks worth.
The thing is, sun boys.
You say that, but it makes you laugh because you think you were saying about how companies have got nothing and they're panicking. You look at like Nintendo, for example. and they're Nintendo HQ going, fuck, what are we going to do at E3? We just released Splatoon. Zelda DLC. More Zelda. We'll just show them a bit more clip of the fucking Zelda game that we've already delayed.
They don't even do a live event either. They just do a pre-filmed like internet.
They have one
stream.
guy that comes on and goes, "Yep,
this is our promotion."
Yeah, exactly. That's all they do, and But the thing is, I suppose you can't have it both ways, can you?
No.
They generally tell people about stuff when it comes out, and then.
True.
But
sounds like Logan should be a Nintendo fan based on what he said. You know, just announcing shit when it's ready and getting it out there, not worrying about E3.
Doesn't talk about his Wii much, to be fair.
Wii's boxed up at the minute.
That's a good present.
Because he's moving, to be fair. It's not just gone, right, fuck that off.
Sick of it.
A week later,
The question is, will it come out the box? That's the real test. If it doesn't come out the box, then there's issues.
Of course it will.
Well, he
says
360
will as well.
That's poor. Anyway, is there anything you've earmarked or you're looking forward to over this E3? I know you're not happy about this situation, but there's a shitload going on, so there must be something that
I'm hoping that Microsoft have kept like stuff a bit quiet. I'm hoping like there'll be this Gears announcement.
Halo 5 Gears remastered. That's all it'll be.
No, I know it will be, but I'm still hoping they'll go Gears 5, and I'll go. You
really want another? You want a Gears 5 after Judgment?
I want a Gears Judgment was poor, so I need another one. It needs to end.
It was all right.
It
wasn't great, but
they changed the fucking controls round as well. Why have you done 3 and then gone 4th? Well, we'll change controls.
User feedback, probably.
Fucking irritated. So they need to go back to basics. I will be happy with Gears Remastered. I feel like.
That's quite interesting. The two ones you've mentioned there are quite, they're cemented IPs.
Yeah.
Would you not want them to review something completely new?
I was thinking about this on the way home from
Robot Fighter.
Yeah. Robot Dinosaur Fighter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How excited I got by Titanfall, which was a new IP, and I'm thinking, and that was so good. And
robots, mate.
Sometimes now, now I've got myself such into I think it's since Call of Duty, I've got myself so excited for the next one of something that I previously enjoyed.
Yeah.
I'd really like someone to, as I said before, is do something new. So Titanfall to me was new. That hadn't been done before in that way. So do something. Dinosaur Riders. Don't know. They put
Ark.
What? Yeah.
Ark.
Well, that's Killam, isn't it?
What, you want a dinosaur racing game?
No, I don't know. Like you get to choose your dinosaur. So I'd be like a T-Rex, and you'd choose.
You want to be a dinosaur?
Yeah, no. That's not a bad idea. So
Dino Simulator,
Dino Fighter. So I can be like a T-Rex, but I haven't got good reach, so I can't punch anyone because I've got sore arms. But I've got really big teeth, so I can bite you. And then you can be a Stegosaurus, and you can whack me with your tail.
Wow. Bizarre conversations taking place here on the 30th of
E3
podcast.
Dino Hunter.
That is what is required. So the long and short of it, Logan wants Microsoft to release a dino hunting racing game.
Fighting racing dinosaurs
with Titans.
Back in the real world, Titans. I really, really, really want
Football Manager,
but I know it won't happen. No, that's guaranteed. But Red Dead 2.
That'll happen before long. Rockstar have got to be working on something.
Yeah.
Red Dead 2 is what I need.
Red Dead Remastered, they'll say. So.
No, I won't get it remastered. I just want the next one. I've even got Red Dead to go back and play on the 360 if I wanted to, but
get
I can't.
Jack Marsden out and
get him.
So good. I need that.
Mr. Hall, is there anything that you're looking forward to? You got your eye on Nintendo? I'm concerned
Zelda.
About what they can produce. Well, Zelda's not coming out this year, so I don't know what they're going to. Maybe they will.
I want to see what they're going to show more of to do with it. I want to see what's new about the new one.
Yeah.
Because at the minute they didn't show loads in the two press releases. They've done bits and pieces, but they haven't shown loads, and I think they'll go a bit nuts for that. I'd also like to see more about the Xbox augmented reality headset.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good point. VR. That's surely going to be.
That's what I'd like to see.
Down with stuff,
I'd like to see them show. I think Nintendo will show more about their venture into mobile, and PlayStation will do a bit about their VR, and Xbox will, or Microsoft.
Morpheus, come on.
Yeah, and Microsoft will say, oh yeah, we've got this fucking augmented reality headset, which is savagely good.
Yeah.
It's basically like everyone's showing how big their dicks are, isn't it?
Well, that's what E3 is, though, isn't it?
It is a pissing contest.
It's brilliant, because they're going to come out and they'll go, we've got all of this. And then the other company will be like, oh, shit, we better up our game.
Yeah. We've got all this.
And it's
ain't ready.
It's all fucking lies.
Yeah,
and then 3 years later, it's like, just hope no one's
that is the worry. You see things there and they look really cool, and then they never see them.
Total horse shit. Yeah.
Because they were just prototypes, or one guy they locked away in a room and he come up with this trailer or whatever and went, oh, this is good.
Silent Hills.
Xbox. Oh.
Yeah, that is, maybe that's what will happen. I'm looking forward to Bethesda's E3 conference. This is what I expect. I expect a Fallout 4 release date. I expect that minimum.
It will happen. That'll be,
whether it's this year or next year.
That'll be March next year. You heard it here first. March 10th next year.
Good. That sounds right.
That's what I expect. That's what I want. I'm happy with that. Maybe a gameplay, a full live gameplay demo or something like that. Thank you very much.
No way.
Well,
no way.
Dream World.
What else are they going to show? Another trailer?
Yeah, they'll just have another trailer and just show that and go, look, a little bit more gameplay.
Don't think so.
Yeah.
Anyway,
March 10th.
Doom footage. We'll see some of that. They're going to reboot Doom. Maybe a new Dishonored. Maybe a
Destiny 2
remaster. No, can't be, can it? Wolfenstein as well from Bethesda. Maybe a new one of those, but I think that's going to be a good one, Bethesda. They've gone out on the Sunday, which is not
Half-Life 3.
When you do it. Not happening, is it?
That won't happen.
No. Do you expect to see Destiny just quickly before we shut down?
No.
Would you want to see Destiny?
They might release the next bit of DLC.
Yeah, maybe.
That'd be the only thing they'll show. Would
you be annoyed if they said Destiny 2?
They won't.
Saying stuff for that. If they did,
think, are they?
Well, they've
got to make their money back on this one first.
I wouldn't be disappointed.
They could do Destiny 2 and spend quarter of the amount, just use the same assets and go, yep, and people still go and buy it for 50 quid.
Same game.
Their money back.
Same game with a new case.
It'll be all the levels backwards.
No, they've already done that, so they'll reverse everything.
That was DLC part 2.
Yeah.
That's 35 quid's worth double DLC. Anyway, I think that's about a wrap, isn't it? Just a bit of housekeeping before we finish. I'll be back next week with one of my sort of rogue podcasts I do. I'll find someone out the bins to sit down and talk. But our post E3 show will actually, it's due to drop 21st of June. And that'll be run by the one only Logan.
Biggest gaming event of the year.
And Logan's got to man the podcast.
I've got to man it.
I'll be off on holiday, so
fucking pathetic. No dedication to Dimp. Biggest gaming event of the year, and you go, "We'll see you later. I'm going to the Canary Islands or wherever."
You get bloody holiday every other week. I have to come on every week. It's about shit.
Yeah, I do. To be fair,
exactly. So I'll be away. Logan's. Well, maybe a few logistical problems. We should hopefully have a show for you on the 21st, and it'll be manned by Logan and other members of the Dimp Digital crew, unless something disastrously goes wrong with some of the logistical parts that's going on in people's lives. Hopefully, it could be. Hopefully, the guys are about to pull through whilst I'm off and be reviewing everything E3. That'll be during the 21st, where I will not be around, so you won't have to put up with me. But make sure you do not miss that, because either if it's good or bad, it will certainly be comedy to tune in and listen to. I'm going to be sitting there drinking a beer, listening to that, cackling away to what you listen to you struggle through it. Right, that's a wrap now. If you guys at home want to get in contact with us, you can tweet us at Dimp Digital. You can also like our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Dimp Digital, or email us using the dimpdigitalmedia@gmail.com address. Get involved and get in contact, and remember to check out the Dimp Digital YouTube channel. Content is going up all the time. The Vanishing of Ethan Carter is the main one at the moment. That playthrough of mine is going through. We're going to have some other bits and bobs coming out over the next few days. That's it for now, though. Game over. It's goodbye from Logan.
Ta-da.
It's goodbye from Hall.
Bye.
And it's goodbye from me, Apps. Thanks for your time, and ta-da.
Guess what I've been up to?
Wanking.
No. Right, you ready?
Yeah.
I made it.
That's pretty good. You don't get the second title.
That is pretty good. Egypt.
Yep. Good, impressed.
Do it again without the at the end. Because it aggravates me that you've got that horrible hissing in the end.
Delay news.
You've done it again.
I can't. How can you say news without doing that? I don't understand.
You just don't really say the S. Just go delay news.
Yeah, because it won't matter because it'll be kicking.
Right. Delay news.
Oh, nearly went for it.
Yeah.
Nearly.
It's really hard to do.
I know.
Yes,
Yeah, that sounds like delay new.
Yeah, you can't do it. You can't do
Figure it out.
Fuck's sake.
Can you do it? Can you open your speaker and we'll all go delay news down the thingamajig?
That would sound
fucking
hideous.
Do a countdown and we'll all do it. Let's try it once. If it comes out per, bin it.
Oh. Right.
Logan, get it set up.
Right, so 3.
Hang on.
Fucking hell.
Is it going to go 3, 2, 1, go, or is it going to go 3, 2, 1?
3, 2, 1, and then you do it.
Delay news.
Right, got ya.
This is going to sound fucking hideous for him.
Yeah, of course it is.
Right, go on. 3, 2, 1.
Delay news.
That's going to sound. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, you could do it.
I actually think I prefer that. That's amazing.
One. Okay.
Fucking dreadful, isn't it?
Native. Cool. That's a downer.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was faffing around with that while Hall was waffling.